What I'm doing is very important to myself and very important to you. You have to understand the situation that America is in right at this moment. We are at war. This is a very serious situation. I am a Middle East specialist. For almost a quarter of a century, I've worked the Middle East. I understand the logic, I understand the reasons, and I understand why the people commenced and attacked the Twin Towers. I will show you videos after why they attacked the Twin Towers. I will show you the report of the 9/11 Commission, why they attacked the Twin Towers. The important thing is, I am the only candidate that will not swear allegiance to AIPAC. If you don't know what AIPAC is, it's a foreign government lobby that's controlled by Israel. And if you do not do exactly what AIPAC wants, you don't get elected. Or they donate money to the other candidate, and you'll lose your job. That's why you see Hillary Clinton, Obama, everybody out there running as fast as they can. We're going to guarantee the safety of Israel. We're going to guarantee the safety of Israel. They swear their allegiance to Israel before they swear their allegiance to America. And that's got us in a lot of trouble. Do you think Hezbollah is a danger to America, or is Hezbollah a danger to Israel? Do you think Iraq is really a danger to America, or was it really a danger to Israel? Do you think that Paul Wolfowitz, a disgraced person, do you think he worked for Israel first, or did he work for America first? When he was 14, he went to Israel. He changed from mathematics to political science. He advised president after president to invade Iraq. He is the author of the preemptive attack, not President Bush. Finally, after 9/11, out of desperation, he convinced President Bush that we had to go into Iraq. I was against it. I knew it was not involved, and I knew the consequences for America going into Iraq would be worse than Japan bombing Pearl Harbor. U.S. foreign policy bias for Israel in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
I'm interested in the question of motivation of these hijackers. And my question is really directed to the agents. What have you found out about why these men did what they did? What motivated them to do it?
I believe they feel a sense of outrage against the United States. They identify with the Palestinian problem. They identify with people who oppose repressive regimes. And I believe they tend to focus their anger on the United States. They identify with the Palestinian problem. They identify with people who oppose repressive regimes. And I believe they tend to focus their anger on the United States.
Mr. Hamilton, I had a quick question for you, sir. I'd spoken with you on C-SPAN about a month ago, and we talked about Israeli policy.
We'd like to.
Why are we addressing the gorilla in the room? The gorilla in the room is U.S. support for Israel. You had made a mistake earlier.
Yeah.
You had said that the Israeli-Palestinian dispute wasn't addressed in the 9/11 Commission report. I beg to differ with that. On page 147, it is stated that the plotter of 9/11, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, was driven to attack us not because of radical ideologies, as Mr. Blair, because of U.S. support for Israel. Why are we addressing that, sir?
All right, sir.
You got Mr. Bamford's book from me, James Bamford's A Pretext for War book. It conveys that we're attacking. Then you have Mr. Ross up here, who's basically affiliated with the Israeli lobby, AIPAC.
This is a conversation that you and I ought to have, but let's not take the time of our...
This is what they ended up agreeing on, putting in the 9/11 Commission report. Right or wrong, There is a reason politicians don't want U.S. support of Israel listed as a root cause of Al-Qaeda's terrorism. There is a reason politicians don't want the American people to reassess that policy. Politicians lie to us about hatred of our freedoms because they care more about serving special interests than about keeping us safe. Don't let them get away with robbing us of the freedom to decide for ourselves if we want to put our lives at risk over specific foreign policies.
The whole world cannot understand why America is so biased to Israel and letting Israel inflict Nuremberg crimes on the Palestinian people. They can't understand that, but they don't know the American political system. They don't know how AIPAC works. The next video will show a lawyer, a 22-year congressman, explaining how Israel manipulates 99% of the politicians. And if you don't go with AIPAC, you don't get elected. They'll donate money, they'll put propaganda, they'll do ads, they'll do anything to get you out of office. Israel or nothing. If you're not with Israel, you do not get elected to an American political office. I might not get elected, but I want to educate America what the AIPAC lobby, a lobby of a foreign country, Israel, has forced our democracy into by blackmailing our politicians.
We're in a deep hole because we're so heavily biased in favor of Israel, and the whole world knows it. And they're astounded by it. They can't comprehend why America, with its great cherished traditions, would close its eyes to the dreadful punishment that we have enabled Israel to inflict on virtually defenseless people.
We saw that what the Israelis had done was lock the doors of several classrooms that were on the second story and then throwing tear gas canisters in so that the kids panicked, and when they finally got out, jumped over the balcony there and landed on an asphalt area below, breaking many legs.
Anybody who's lived any amount of time in the Middle East begins to see the other side of it, I think.
I was arrested 9 times, so have been repeatedly arrested and harassed. The first time I was arrested, I was 15 years old. Then they will splash water in your face and start again. And that Israel calls moderate physical pressure. To me, it didn't look as moderate.
I think that's the problem.
Israel and the lobby, or Israel through the lobby, are really running our policies.
In fact, it's worse now than it's ever been before. We have a White House that's totally dominated by Israelis.
It's sad that the Americans who are so concentrated on helping Israel, they don't give a hoot, so far as I'm concerned, about whether it hurts the United States or not.
Israel and her present policies and the Sharon policies are undermining American security. They're undermining American policy.
I spoke with the head military lawyer for the IDF, Joel Zinger, and I said, you know, I spent 2 weeks here, and it's clear you people are inflicting Nuremberg crimes on the Palestinians. Exactly what the Nazis did to the Jews. What's your explanation? He said, military necessity. Notice, he didn't disagree with me. I said, that argument was rejected at Nuremberg when the lawyers for the Nazis made it. So then he said, well, we have public relations people in the United States, and they handle these matters for us.
Arabs and Muslims have to be made to look bad in America